Truth to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. And to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most...
Curtis Hart.
And Chris Bornstead.
And you are listening to the Spreaker audio app. I know, I don't need to give them a bump every time.
You're listening to Because Liberty.
Yeah,
we don't even have to give them the speaker.
It's not like I'm running Spreaker. On multiple
and you don't have to say Small Axe Radio anymore either.
It's just Because Liberty.
It's just Because Liberty. And we have Andy Huffman.
Hello.
Andy Huffman.
Sole administrator of Cowlitz County News Uncensored.
That's right.
So,
Curtis Hart has nothing to do with that.
Right.
Chris Bornstead has nothing to do with that.
Right.
We bring you Because Liberty.
That's
Andy
correct.
Huffman
brings you Cowlitz County News Uncensored.
This is correct.
Now, we do help them police a little bit.
We don't police anything.
The original posters bring it.
Original posters.
And we're going to go into that later.
So, boom. Yeah.
What's with the booms?
Tell us about the booms.
The booms. The booms that we've been reporting on for the last 6 to 9 months that major media markets have been picking up those. It's K2U.
Channel 12. Channel 12.
TDN and Fox News was here last night doing a story about the booms. But
the booms are real.
The booms are real. We've been talking about them on Because Liberty for months.
It took me months and months for me to hear my first boom, but I finally heard it over by Kilburn's house when I was cruising through the hood.
I hear them at our house all the time.
Yeah, well, they started picking up. We had a big boom in North Kelso a couple of weeks ago that was just incredible. But anyway,
so the boom yesterday. That one yesterday was just ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
It was just boom.
Once again, Cowlitz County News Uncensored is reporting the actual real news that is important to the people before it happens.
Yeah, not olds.
The pickup is a little slow on the boom situation.
Yes,
because it happened in the Cascade Way neighborhood.
Yeah.
And some people have been trying to say that the only reason that this being broadcast now is because it's happening in an affluent for Longview neighborhood.
Yeah, well, it's been funny that people haven't believed it, and it's been a joke, for the last I don't know how many months, and then all of a sudden it moves into the Columbia Heights area, and all of a sudden he gets lots of attention.
And there is one thing I wanted to bring up, the Legion of Boom and the Seahawks. During Seahawks season, people are just writing boom in full caps with an exclamation point.
Well, what did you?
And it has nothing to do with any actual explosions happening in Cowlitz County.
Yeah, there's lots of booms.
There's a little bit of confusion, so someone has to sort through that confusion.
Yes, I noticed that some people were pushing boom in people's conversations when they thought it was getting off track too. So
I did.
Yeah, was that you that was doing that?
That was one of them.
Boom. So the boom thing we find out is real. Quit,
For some people, it's an attempt at cleverness.
And it's getting more serious because they're using shrapnel and tennis balls and things that could actually hurt people instead of the M80s that are for fun.
The foam insulation aerosol can bomb that was set off in the guy's yard up there that was broadcast on the news.
Oh, nice.
That happened?
Yeah. There was about 9-inch crater in his lawn.
I was just going to say, there's a podcast. People can't see how far away your hands are from each other. But
that's why I made a verbal gesture.
So we had some other kind of news in the TDN today where they actually spoke about Cowlitz County News Uncensored, where some person went on Cowlitz County News Uncensored and posted some kind of story about a teenage daughter ODing and being drug out into the street.
Is that still on CCNU?
It's still on there.
Okay, just pull it up and read it. Really quick.
I gotta find it. But tell us about that. I mean, they're like average.
I'd like to say at this time that I am not responsible for that. This constitutional law that states that a third-party website cannot be held liable for what somebody posts on there.
All right.
So,
first of all, it doesn't mention about anything the internet.
So it was on May 6th.
What speaking of, is in the Washington State Constitution in Article 1, Section 5 of free speech. It says every person may freely speak, write, and publish on all subjects, being responsible for the abuse of that right. So it's not the admin's job.
No. And
here's the posts on in a group that's called Uncensored.
So just to kind of give you guys an idea, the original post was on May 8th, and it was by Angel Brown, and it says, "These people gave my 13-year-old drugs. She overdosed on it in their bathroom, and someone set her out by a tree and then called ambulance." I'm reading it as how it's spelled in here. Yeah. So their names are Lean.
Don't read the names.
Okay, so we aren't going to read the names, but AK, they're big time meth dealers, and I want to point out another inaccuracy about the Daily News.
Is that the one that they're talking about, or were they talking about the other one from
this
the female?
This is the one that they're. This is the original post, and then Tania went on and posted the mother sent her a picture, and just So the Daily News, and I'm not like this isn't touting or anything, but just to give you a kind of example of how the Daily News spins the truth to what they want it to be. They put down that there was like 12, like a dozen comments on there. Right now on the original story, I'm looking at 185 comments, and then on Tania's comments, there's like 285. So I don't know which story.
One of her posts has 280 comments.
I don't know which post the TDN is reporting on because it's not these ones here. But the point is that
they mentioned CCNU.
You made the Daily News, baby. How do you feel?
Yeah, high five up here.
Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank them for the publicity, and it gives us a chance to reach more people to help them in the community, because posting all this like nonsense like that, it goes to the format. People want to go on there and vent their frustrations or say this thing about this other person and try to gain some type of credulence from it. What we're all about is posting events that try to help the community, like Stone Soup and like Volunteer Kelso, to try to benefit the citizens of Cowlitz County.
We also use a lot of libertarian ideas and a lot of thinking.
That is correct.
And we put a lot of unconventional news on there that people normally wouldn't get around our area.
It's news, and it's stuff like, the booms and whatnot. It's actual news when you read about it on Cowlitz County News Uncensored. It's not news when you read about it in the Daily News, because we've been talking about it for 6 to 9 months. They should just call it the Daily Olds.
The Daily News should just send somebody over to hang out with us. That's,
Lauren Cornbush.
They got to get with the game, yeah. But,
But anyway, it's the nature of the beast. You have an open forum. People in society, like, not all of them are, well-disciplined and, morally functioning or psychologically stable. So you have posts like this to where people are taking pictures off a GoFundMe and then posting it with a bunch of false information. Well, just to get a rise for themselves.
It's like I
and
tell
then
people,
TDN takes a minute or an hour out of their day to disprove the information. So, good for them.
Yeah.
It's funny that they feel it necessary to point out to everybody, like, hey, not everything you read on the internet is true.
Well, you know what? Everything you read in the TDN isn't true either. So there you go.
Yeah.
They really
that's
can
just
skew
hilarious.
it.
So how many people have you had join since Daily News started putting your name out there?
About 40.
About 40. And how many is people. It, usually?
About 5, but the last time I've checked, we're down here in the studio. It's kind of a concrete bunker. I'll get the best of signal.
It'd be the perfect place for Ned. Ned would love this place, yeah.
He would love this place. You know what else Ned would have loved? The Donald Trump rally.
Oh, that's right. You went to the Donald Trump rally, didn't you?
Yes, I did go all the way up to Lynden, Washington.
Lynden,
to the Donald
Washington.
Trump rally, which is north of Seattle, for those that don't know. But it's not just north of Seattle. It's on the border of Canada. There's a border crossing in there. So
almost all the way to Canada.
Almost all the way to Canada.
He was going to drive all the way to Spokane until I told him to go to the Coulter place. He didn't know about the Lynden one.
I didn't realize it was going to be like...
Yeah, I didn't. When they announced it, they just said he was coming to one spot, and they said Lynden, and then all of a sudden it was Lynden and Spokane. So I figured you just missed the Lynden one.
No, I went to the one in Lynden.
Lynden, yeah.
all by myself.
All by myself.
Somebody donated a car, and I drove up there by myself because no one wanted to go with me.
Oh, somebody actually donated their car to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I misunderstood that before.
I'm the bee's knees. Somebody
I thought you donated your own car and drove up there.
Wasn't even like a family member. I'm not related to him.
Right on. That's
I was like,
groovy.
Hey, give me a ride up here. I got gas money. They're like, hey, borrow my parents' car.
Borrow my parents' car.
Yeah.
But about...
well, he doesnnt live in town.
How many people at the Trump rally were there actually supporting Donald Trump?
It was probably an 8-to-1, 9-to-1 ratio. There was a lot of people there. It was sold out. Not everybody that went there to go see him got in. And then, like, a lot of those people, like, they stayed on their side of the road so that they could hang out and taunt the other side a little bit.
Yeah, basically how they had it, from what I noticed from your videos, is that they had the Trump supporters on one side, the police in the middle of the street, and the not Trump supporters on the other side. The other thing I noticed about your videos is that there was somebody that you were with that was doing open carry in the middle of all these.
Yeah, and he was the only person that we saw open carrying besides the police.
So,
his name was Rob Stratton. He's in the Washington State Libertarian Party.
The thing I'm trying to point out, though, is that most of the people that were they're fighting against Trump don't like guns. So I'm kind of curious. Were there any negative reactions on open, when they noticed that he was open carry? Did anybody freak out and be like, oh no, he's got a gun?
No, there wasn't any negative reactions to it at all. A lot of people responded. And if they did, they responded. It was all positive. There was one person that talked to him about how to find somebody to teach her how to go shooting. So I would consider them Bernie Sanders supporters because they're out there, hammering on Trump. A lot of the vast majority of them were Bernie Sanders supporters. And we all, when I was going around handing out literature, I was talking to him about how, the DNC's going to, screw you guys over just like the RNC screwed Ron Paul over. And, when that happens, you're probably not going to want to vote for Hillary. And you're obviously not going to vote for Trump if you're standing over here.
Well,
so
not
you
those
might as well
guys,
go ahead and vote for the Libertarian Party.
I'm hearing from some of my Democratic friends that they're voting for Trump, and it just shocks me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I was just surprised. But you're a union member, and they're going to whip you to vote for Hillary, or they're going to whip you to vote for whoever their nominee is. Because now we're voting for Trump. I said, well, you guys aren't going to tell anybody, are you? Because that's like blasphemy. Going against the union and the party vote, because I'm sure the unions aren't going to support Trump. I don't think.
Who knows?
I don't know. He keeps getting lots more
difference
support
between the two on an economic level. I don't really feel.
So
they're both.
It was a pretty exciting rally.
So
nobody got hurt. There were nobody who got punched. I was for sure thinking you were going to get maced.
There was actually like a fake macing. These kids, yeah, because when I photobombed King 5, I was able to get an interview by King 5, and I photobombed King
I saw
5.
the pictures. All of a sudden, you just see this picture of this guy being interviewed, and Curtis behind him with the literature thing held
literature.
Up.
You can actually, if you watch the video, you can see the moment where I noticed that the camera's live, and I was just like, oh, I'm going to go photobomb. And so I start pulling my pamphlet out of my pocket and walking over. And on my way over there was a kid holding a Trump sign and a kid holding an anti-Trump sign, and they started hitting each other's signs. And then one of I think it was the kid with the Trump sign pulled out some silly string out of his pocket, totally made the other kid think he was getting maced. And so they just ran off and split from each other as soon as that happened. And that gave me the opportunity to actually do the photobombing that I went over there to do. And I pulled that off for about 30 seconds. You can see me walking around.
Now, for those of you who may be wondering what Curtis Hart was doing at a Trump rally, he was up there not supporting Trump. He was up there promoting libertarianism. We better get that one out there real quick, because,
Yeah, I went up there to pass out Libertarian Party.
He wasn't up there to support Trump.
Probably walked around 3 miles, I would imagine, and passed out about 5 inches worth of flyers.
So,
and bumper stickers and whatnot.
Did you get anybody say we don't want your garbage and toss it on the ground? Or
we got one person tossed my thing on the ground. We made 3 loops around the fairgrounds and didn't find any other ones on the ground. There's one person that thought that we were handing out a Trump bumper sticker, and we told him it was a Libertarian bumper sticker. He was like, "Oh no!" And then
no.
And then Rob asked him, "Well, you don't like liberty?" And he said, "No, I don't like liberty. I like Trump." And I just was like, "Well." I mean, there you go. So,
yeah.
This has been Because Liberty